Hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, please take a moment to do that now. So here on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, over the last few years, I have been slowly working through the collection, These Stories of Ray Bradbury. We are up to story number 86 of 100, which is The Parrot Who Met Papa from 1972. Alright, so the way these videos go is that I do a synopsis of the action and the plot of the story up front, and then finish up with some thoughts and feelings about what it all means and how it remains relevant to my life or to your life. So, after a flurry of rumors, a journalist named Ray, mind you, is given permission by the State Department to make a trip to Cuba, to Havana, to investigate the rumors. The rumor that he's there to investigate is that in a bar in Havana, there is a parrot named ʻbrædɛbɛri who sat and listened to Papa, or Hemingway, speak while he drank for decades and decades until his death, and that now that bird has gone missing. When Ray gets to Havana, he begins investigating. He asks the bartender, and through the information he's able to glean, he tracks down a man named Shelley Capone, or Capon, C-A-P-O-N, whichever the pronunciation is supposed to be, and discovers that he's in fact has taken the bird. As it turns out, the bird did listen to Hemingway for all those decades, and he knows all the dirt that Hemingway told him about other authors and other people, and also may have memorized Hemingway's sort of lost, never finished, never written down final novel. Shelley wants to extort the bird basically for money. He's getting interview requests from Time Magazine and NBC, and he intends to make a killing. But Ray, he has a more wholesome feeling about Hemingway. He loved the author. He read him all of his life, and he can't stand this sort of crime that's going on. So he pulls the bird out of the cage, ʻbrædɛbɛri that is. He pretends to wring its neck and threatens to kill it if they come near him, and he runs out with the bird. On his way out of Havana, he disguises the bird by dyeing it black, and he teaches it to say nevermore, arguably disguising it as the raven from, of course, The Raven. He says that he has to teach the bird to say nevermore because that's not something he would have ever heard from Hemingway, who apparently he knocked out decades ago and considered him to be a middleweight, which is, I think, an odd reference coming from Bradbury. But yeah, is a fun little heist sort of mystery story. Very light on mystery, very light on heist, but it has those elements, that sort of fun, fast pace. Reminds me very much of like Knives Out, Glass Onion, Ocean's 11, something like that in a strange way. Probably the far-flung locations and all that. But I think it actually would probably be done better justice as a longer work, a novel, novella, possibly a movie, something like that. But I love the idea, this long-lived species like a parrot, having this living connection to a long-gone author, and people sort of coming from miles around to hear it speak and to hear it talk in the voice of someone who is dead. Of course, we do have recordings. That is something we have now available to us whenever somebody dies. But this is really interesting, sort of a living embodiment of all the habits of Hemingway that this bird was able to glean from his sort of years of heavy drinking and talking. I think the fact that it's a parrot, and I don't know any of the history. I don't know if there actually is a parrot or if Hemingway ever drank in this bar or anything like that. But the fact that it's a parrot, I don't think that's a coincidence, because lots of people have tried to parrot Hemingway's voice as writers, and of course it's very hard to do that. You can mimic somebody, but it's not authentic ever. So I think that's probably not a coincidence that it is a parrot. But I also think it's saying something about the exploitation of an author's legacy after his death. In recent news, Amazon's Rings of Power comes to mind because I find it to be a horrible exploitation of of Tolkien's work done in the worst possible taste and for the worst possible reasons. So I think there's a little bit of that going on in Bradbury's sort of commentary here. But as always, Bradbury, in a few short pages, gives me something to chew on in my head for the rest of the day. And I think that, on the whole, makes The Parrot Who Met Papa from 1972 worth your time. All right, tomorrow we'll be back with The October Game from 1948, which is story number 87 of 100, as we continue to roll on towards the end of Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. See you tomorrow.